Okay, so my ancestors came on the Mayflower, and, well, I guess my ancestor was the lead pastor on the Mayflower. But I am so disgusted with the high courts in UK, and I just believe in truth and justice, and it doesn't matter what country. United States, UK, the Vatican. You could even wear a number on your head where when you add up the Roman numerals, it adds to the number 666, and you can be the most prestigious leading leader in the world, and you can be sovereignly in control over the rest of the nations using the Jesuits and the Freemasons. But I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to tell the court why I'm completely disgusted with them. I'm going to explain to them why they're disgusting and how evil they are. So I'm sending an email to the High Court, the same court where I had to request a video link to watch the COPA versus Craig Wright trial. So I'm gonna read you guys the email. That way they don't think, who is this guy who's sending us this email? Is it really him? I'm just gonna make a video of it so that you guys can see what I'm emailing them. So Mellor ruled against Wright? Question mark. How is that justice, honor, or lordship? I guess we'll infer the question marks from now on. That's wickedness. Craig is the only one who understood Turing completeness in 2015. He was the only one who understood the network nodes could grow and SPV nodes would verify them. He protected his own children from being held hostage by not showing possession. I'm disgusted with your country's courts. 0% of the accusations held up. How is that overwhelming evidence? In quotations. You should be ashamed of yourselves for how you treated this man. I'm going to pray that Yahashua brings justice, complete destruction to everyone involved in accusing Craig of lying. That's the God of the Bible, by the way. That's not in the email, but that's the God of the Bible. Look up the actual name. The covenant was confirmed, and the sinless one's blood is on the ark. It's not in the email, but the ark I'm referring to is the Ark of the Covenant. Proving authority of this planet to its creator. Craig is a rock, and put your institution to shame. I'll love to witness how the world wonders over your corrupt ruling. Enjoy your shameful, useless lives. I have zero respect for your court, and my God will give me justice and allow me to watch it and all the wicked and lazy. Too lazy to study why Bitcoin has double hashes. Too lazy to study how it's Turing complete. Too lazy to question why a document, which is digital, would be 1/1 millionth millimeters different from another digital document. By the way, I had to pick a large number there because we can't go back and view the video, but they were talking about how one document was so incredibly similar to another document, but it was in a very small measurement. But it's digital, which means you have a file which is made up of ones and zeros producing this as a result. And yet somehow, even though it's digital, it produces something that's just slightly off, like less than a pixel. But anyway, so would be 1/1 millionth millimeters different from another digital document, even though it's digital. too lazy to understand how Bitcoin scales, too lazy to basically do any mathematics at all. My God will let me watch all of it burn to destruction, because that's what is going to happen. When there's wickedness and we have authority because of Christ's blood, we can pray. This isn't in the email because I'm looking at the camera now. We can pray and we can say, look, here's this wickedness, here's this injustice, here's the authority. God, send destruction. And we have authority over this earth. So we can pray things like that. People need to understand this. When he died, his blood went on the ark and he has authority over this earth. That's how I understand it. That's what I believe. Craig Wright has done nothing wrong and has only handed our world an opportunity to use a lawful commodity. If instead your court supports illegal data to be stored on side chains, unlawful securities, and inefficient blockchains which don't allow scaling because its developers are either too stupid or too lazy to understand what an SPV node is. They think that someone needs to run a full node for Bitcoin to be, quote unquote, decentralized. So, this court is retarded. That's my conclusion. Because at the end of the day, math is correct. And when the world and all its leaders try to come and tell you that something that obviously is not true is true, and something that's true is not true, but you know, based on mathematics, what the truth must be. You've already proven it. Then what is the point of them if that's all their job is to do? Their job is to judge. And guess what? It says in the scriptures, do not judge or you too will be judged. That's why I don't pick and choose people to judge. I just like to study math and judge math for what it is. And that's what I do. So this court is obviously disgusting in how they ruled. And, well, let's just say they'll get whatever's coming to them when the real commodities show their true value. Because you have some people who just want to invest and pump up something that's fake, that has no utility. And then you have the real people who actually understand things and they're wise and they think and they study and they learn the math and they design things properly and they don't prejudge, they don't jump to conclusions. That's what happened to me when I wrote code for a company that then looked at it and was like, what is this? And then they said a word that I'm not going to repeat. And I spent my livelihood. I was willing to die in my car because I believed I want to work on formal verification. And I worked at a company and I never claimed to be good at this kind of coding, and I never agreed with them to formalize C. I wanted to skip all that altogether. But I still was willing to write for them. I would have worked for them for free. But they treated me like I was demanding. And it's the same thing with Craig Wright. He would do things for people for free, but they're so evil that they're not willing to listen to him when he tells them Bitcoin is Turing complete. They're so evil that they won't listen to him when he tells them, I can't sign, I'm not going to show possession. Oh, if he wanted to prove it, he wouldn't go a long way. Well, where's somebody else? If you're going to make the claim that somebody needs to prove it, then where's somebody else? Where's Adam Back's claim? Where's his signing? That doesn't make any sense. He's the one who made up this thing of, oh, the inventor must be anonymous because that's one of the things that gives Bitcoin its utility. And we're talking about BTC here, which doesn't scale, which Satoshi said needs to scale, which means the nodes get bigger, which means SPV nodes are the things that you run on your wallet, not full nodes. Ethereum is a joke. Cardano's a joke. BTC's a joke. They're not even lawful. BSV follows the law. It scales. It's the original protocol, so it should be called Bitcoin, and it should have the ticker symbol BTC instead of somebody else locking him out. And I know that this is exactly what happens because this is exactly how I was treated. Exactly the same way. Now, not all the events are the same, not people calling me a fraud, but they, in their hearts, it's the same way. It's the same attitude. It's the same spirit. In their minds and in their hearts, they don't believe me, or they think that I'm an idiot, or they think that I don't know what I'm doing. Well, guess what? Even though I was doing what I was worst at, which was writing scripts, not doing the math, and even though I was doing it to help the company do the opposite, which was going from written programs in programming languages towards theory instead of starting with the parse tree theory in creating practical programs using synthesis. Even though I was doing that, guess what? I was using hashes, and I didn't really know anything about blockchain, but I was using SHA-256 hashes to check whether I had already downloaded, or I should say the script downloaded, whether it ran, whether it compiled a code, whether any part of the script that described how it should compile changed. I used that. And yet, these people, and nobody told me, my boss never told me to do this, and yet I did it anyway. And yet, when he looked at it, he saw some error message, which, by the way, only existed because they specifically told me, oh, use this testing suite. And that testing suite was designed for Java, but I was using it with Bash. And because it gave error messages, they were asking me what was wrong with my code. Is there something wrong with it? So they didn't believe me that what I was writing was sensical. And here you have all these lawyers. It's like if I woke up in the morning and I had lawyers asking me, like, are you sure? You're lying that you put your right foot on the floor instead of your left foot on the floor first, aren't you? You're lying. That's how they're treating him, because backdating files, like, what's the big deal about changing the date on a file? What's the big deal about having your experts go and properly look at what the file says? Oh, that's right. Somehow this judge thinks that it's fine that you don't need to do any of the investigation of any of the evidence properly whatsoever. We don't need any of this evidence to be legit. Like, literally 0% of the evidence, because Craig was able to respond to every single thing that was presented to him. And so that's how he's going to be judged. And he's going to be judged by guess who? They call him the man upstairs sometimes. So, BSV guys, those of you who are believers, let's get on our knees. Let's pray. And let's pray for this just to get this disgusting government to get just burned down. All these disgusting governments to get exposed for what they are. Because this pisses me off. This is disgusting. This guy created something to help us, and that he created something that will give us what we needed, which is a real commodity, real money for the first time in history. According to the definition of money, according to law, it's the first time it's an actual money, because it's the first time it's an actual commodity that can be used as a primary means of exchange anywhere. You can't do that with a US dollar. It's not money because it's not a commodity, because it's a security, because they can just print more of it. You can't do that with gold because you can't just be using gold anywhere. You can't test whether your gold coin is legit when you go to the dollar store down the street. And they don't accept gold anyway. So this is the first time in history we have something that works. And what happens? It gets messed up. You get these hard forks. You get segregated witness, and then you get a limit of the block size, and then you get some guy who's saying, well, I would have unblocked Satoshi and let him kind of, be part of this blog once we switched over. It's like, duh, these guys got their money from MasterCard and Visa or wherever, and they think that they got money. That's the funny thing, is these people who are getting bribed, they think they're getting something of value. It's like, in the end, unless you're doing the right thing, you're not going to have the true thing of value. They don't call it Satoshi Nakamoto's legendary treasure for nothing. It's a treasure because it's more valuable. I mean, imagine if somebody paid someone when Bitcoin was in its infancy, hey, we'll give you this many millions of dollars. Well, they weren't offering them Bitcoin when they were paying them under the table, because these corrupt people that like to be paid under the table, they never value what's actually valuable. They always want the trash. They want the prostitute coin, not the wife coin. So you guys can you guys I'm scared to say this, but if you guys are going to be cursed by God, there's going to be a remnant that's going to have to be taken out of your country, and they will be protected and saved, and the rest of you who have hard hearts and who are ignorant and who pick on people like us who are just doing the right thing, you're going to get destroyed by our God. So just figured I'd let you guys know that. Thanks for watching.